everyone, welcome to my channel Thread the Needle. My name is Vani and I'm from Newfoundland, Canada. So this is going to be my last video for the year of 2020 because next week is 2021. Well, actually Friday is 2021. So really looking forward to the new year. I have lots of big stitching plans. So we have a lot to cover today because I would like to go over, I've got whips to show you progress on. I have a finish to show you, which I am so excited about. And I have some FFOs that I got framed, so that's fully finished objects. And then I want to go over my New Year 2021 stitching plans. And what else am I going to go over? So my stitching plans will take up a lot of the video. And yeah, so let's start. I hope you have all been doing well, staying safe and being healthy. Christmas is over. We had a really nice Christmas, quieter than normal, but I don't mind that. We had some really nice family time and it was great. I did get some stitching done in between all the Christmas family time, getting ready for Christmas and then having Christmas. So it's all done now and I can get back to my stitching. So let's start with my works in progresses. So the last couple of weeks or so, I worked on a few pieces. The first one that I worked on was London. Life is an Open Book, London, and it is done on 22 count. So I'm slowly working my way through to unparking my threads or stitching my parked threads so I can continue in the way that I wanted to. So here is how much I have done. So that's London. So you can see I filled up all this area here, and I think there was like a patch right there that wasn't filled in. So that got done very nicely. And it's coming along very well. So I'm very happy with London's progress. It's looking very well. Only have a few more threads to get rid of. And once they're gone, then it'll be a cleaner look, I think. So yeah, very happy with this. I will be continuing on having this in my whip rotation for the new year. So on to my next whip. I got a little bit of work done on World Travel Bookshelf. And as you may have already known, I am doing the bookshelves separately. So I'm just doing the top shelf right now, and they'll be framed separately too if I ever get to doing all of them. So here's my progress on that. I was able to fill in more of this column and I'm getting to the bottom of here before I move on to the next one. So this is World Travel Bookshelf, the top shelf. This is done on 25 count, 1/1, full cross. So still very colorful, still fun to stitch on, so I will continue to stitch on that in the new year. So then I tried really hard to get this done for Christmas, but I didn't want to rush it and I didn't want to stress out because I wasn't getting it done on time. So I just said, you know what, whenever we're sitting down watching a movie with the kids, I just picked it up and I was working on it. I think this very well may be my first finish for the new year because I am that close. So here's how much I have done. So you can tell Santa's coat, the other side of here, the fur, and all that background curtain work. So that came out really nicely. I'm still doing in the diagonal, but if there is a color that only has like, I don't know, 10 stitches or something, then I'll just carry it over and do cross country. So it's a combination of like diagonal cross country with full page or full project cross country stitching. So this guy, if I open up this side of it, is almost done. So that will be the finished piece. I think this will be my first finish of the new year. Not a bad way to start the new year with a finish, hey? But I do have some lofty plans for next year, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so those were the main works and progresses that I had some progress done on the last couple of weeks. But the biggest one that I worked on and finished was winter wings. So it's finally done and I could not be happier. So here she is. And I have to go back far enough so that you can see how she looks. Oh my God, I'm in love with her. So I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but she's got sparkly bits all over her. There is sparkly thread. Oh, there you go. You can get a little bit of a sheen in there. So on her skin, and then there's sparkly bits in her dresses. So that was done by Krynic. Not the funnest to stitch with, but also not the worst. I didn't have any issues. I think the hardest part of the Krynic is the actual threading the needle of it, but I am so happy with how she turned out. Now I just need to kind of get her to the framers. Again, I always go to my local Michaels, and they do a fantastic job, as you will see in my next two finishes that I have to show you. So this is SK Winter Wings, and doesn't she look beautiful? So just so happy with how that worked out. Beautiful. All right. Next, I wanted to talk to you about two pieces that I had finished a while ago, and I finally took them to the framers and picked out what I wanted done with them, and they came back from the framers, and I couldn't be happier. So the first one I'm going to show you is QS Amethyst, which is by Rachel Anderson, again from Heaven and Earth Designs. It is a one of 12 pieces because it is a birthstone piece, so there is one for each birthstone, and this one is Amethyst. Don't ask me what month that is for, I do not know. However, she's done. So all of the 12, they're almost identical in size, with some that are a few stitches over on either side or up and down. This one I think is one of the smaller ones, so I just had them do the matting a little bit bigger because I wanted the finished frame on all 12 to be the same size. So they did that for me, but the matting is a little bit bigger on this one because I wanted the finished product to be the same size, because I have a wall in my home that I'm going to put all the birthstones on, and so there's 12 of them, so I wanted them all to be equal and symmetrical, so that when they're all on the wall together, eventually they'll look fabulous. So here is this. Okay, so I'm going to try and angle it away from all the lights that are shining on me, but here we go. This is QS Amethyst, and had so much fun working on the purples. So much fun. So you can't tell, but this darker matting color is a bit of a fabric feel to it, so there's a bit of a shine to it, and then I picked a lighter pinkish purple for the second matting towards the closer to the, let's see how close I can get. There we go. It's not bad, eh? It's beautiful. Okay, so that is QS Amethyst. That was done on 22 count, 2/1 full crosses. Next one. This one is a project that I had been working on for a very long time. It was part of a mystery cell from Heaven and Earth Designs back when they used to have a bulletin board. I had done quite a bit on it, and then it became a UFO, and finally this year I picked it up again, and I finished it a long time ago, but I only recently took it to the framers to get framed, and I think they did a fabulous job. I love the colors that I picked for the matting. It just makes her pop some more. So this is SK Sunny, and there you go. So I really like that I picked the black because it really makes everything pop, and Yeah, the colors are just so fun in this one and so vibrant that I couldn't help. There we go. You can't really see it. There we go. Let's do it this way. So that is SK Sunny. Not bad, hey? I like that one a lot. So now it's just a matter of where do I want to hang it in the house? We'll see. We shall see. But that's a fun thing to kind of decide. Maybe I'll walk around with it and have my husband hold it up against all the wall space and see which one I like the best. So next I get to start talking about my New Year 2021 stitching plans. So I bought myself a journal, which I'm going to call my stitching journal. It's basically just a year's agenda. I just have 2021 written on the top and a cute little design, and nothing fancy here. It's just a regular calendar agenda. So there's some space in the beginning for notes on each month. And then each month has its own tab, and it actually goes, it's just the 12 months. Some calendars and agendas will go over 1 or 2 months on either end of the year. Each month has a full calendar like that. And then of course, each day has its own day for notes. I think the most important thing that I want to use it for is to keep track of the details of each of my projects, like material, what type of material, what count material, where I got it. I also want to keep track of the name of the pattern, my method of stitching. Either I'm doing 2/1, 1/1, full cross. Well, that's probably my only option. I do full cross for everything. I've never been a big fan of the tent stitch or half stitch or continental, whatever you want to call it. I prefer the full cross stitching. So I wanted to have a journal. Usually I do just have like a little notebook where I keep track of how many, I thought I had my notebook here with me. I do. So basically it's just like a little notebook, just an empty notebook where I keep track of how many stitches I've done for the night on any given project. So like for London, when I did sit down with it for the 3 days that I give myself to work on a particular project before I switch my rotations, I will write down how many stitches I did each night, tally it up, and re-record my total done so far. So, but this time, what I want to do is use this. The one big thing that I want to make sure that I kind of keep track of is not only the number of stitches, which is pretty easy because I use Pattern Keeper and it really helps me keep track of how much I've done, the percentage done, and it's great. But I actually also found an app which I've been looking for a long time, an app that kind of does it all. Pattern Keeper is great for reading the pattern, marking off your pattern, counting how many stitches you got done. It has some really great features. But what I wanted also was on the main page, when you're looking at all of the pictures of your projects, I wanted to see progress bar of how much of each one I've done. And I wanted a way that when I count how many stitches I've done, not only do I just enter it in, but I wanted to kind of see a tally at the end of the month or at the end of the week of how many stitches I've done. So there's this app, it's a cross-stitching app that I found on my Google Play Store, and it kind of does it all except the pattern reading part. It's just a place for you to record where, actually I have it on my tablet because it's on my phone, which I'm using to record this video, so I can't really show you that, but I did. It's called Cross Stitch Planner, and it's in the Play Store, so I don't know if you can see the icon, but anyway, so what I really liked about it was, so I don't have any projects in here now, but they have, so when you put in a new project, so this is the main screen, and then you do the little plus sign, and you can put a picture of the project here, and then the details here. So once you've entered in a project, once you have the picture put in, then they all get inputted here so you can see all the pictures. And underneath each one is a progress bar, because what happens is when you put in the details for a project, you can put in the full stitch count. And every day, at the end of the day, when you're done stitching, like I am, and I count how many stitches I've done for the day, which Pattern Keeper helps me count, I enter it in here, and it keeps a running tally. And on the main screen page, I can see how much progress I've made on each project. And the other thing I really liked, which I had been looking for something, because I have so many charts purchased, but they're all like just PDFs. So I wanted them all in one place where I didn't want the whole chart and taking up space. I just wanted to see the picture so that I can see what I have in my stash, and I can decide what I'm in the mood for next to start. And so this was super cool and really helpful that I was able to use it to decide what to do for the new year. I've got some great plans. You know, I was always kind of hesitant about starting too many projects because mine are full coverage, and the smallest ones you'll get is like the birthstones or like little ones, and even they take a long time. And I was always feeling guilty. Oh my God, why are you starting another one when you have so many? But you know what? I'm not going to stress about it anymore. I just want to stitch. And my stitching mood changes all the time, so I want to, change it up, and I want to add a few more. I might take out a few, and they might become a UFO, but I have some really exciting new projects that I want to add for next year. So I'm sourcing some material for some of them. Some of them I already had some material in my stash, which was great. But the cool thing is that the projects that I've chosen to do or start next year, they're all so different in the sense that some of them are different themes, but all of them I'm doing on different counts. I'm going as low as 18 count, and I'm going as high as 28 count, because some of them are really large projects, and if I go any lower than the 28 count, then or higher or lower, whatever, if I go any bigger count than the 28 count, the finished product is going to be so huge I actually won't have wall space for it. And can you imagine how much it would cost to get something like that framed? Oh my God, I might even just try to do it myself. So let's start. So like I mentioned, my work in progresses, my current work in progresses, I will continue with those. Oh, before I go on with that, one thing with my stitch journal that I want to keep track of, not only how many stitches I've done, but I want to keep track of how much time I spend on a project. Because I have so many works in progresses, and I'm switching it up, like in the last few months I've been every 3 days, I've been switching it up and picking another project from my rotation. Everyone always asks me, oh, how long did that take you? Or how long did that project take you? I honestly don't know. So I want to be able to give people an idea. So from the new year, I'm going to start, I have an app on my phone that it's just a timer app, and you can create all the different projects, and I want to start tracking how long it takes me to stitch. So for the works in progresses, I will start counting the time, and then at least based on how much I have done and based on how much I do, I can at least average how long it takes me to finish a page on that particular project, because each one is different based on how much either confetti or block stitching it has, based on the design, based on the count that I'm stitching it on. So it all varies. So I want to be able to tell in the future how long it took me to actually stitch a project, So I think that would be really cool. So that's one of the biggest things I also wanted for the planner, to use that to keep track of not only my stitch count, but the time it actually takes me. Now, that doesn't include just actual needle to thread into the project and out. It includes the setup time, getting everything ready for a night of stitching. It includes threading, rethreading. It includes flipping the project over to finish a thread. It includes any amount of time, from the time that I sit down to stitch and from the time that I put the project away for the night. That is the time that I'm counting. So if I do some in the morning, then that chunk of time gets counted separately. If I do some in the evening, that chunk of time gets counted separately. So that's the plan. I hope it works. Okay, so works in progresses for next year. I'm going to continue with most of them, and some of them are really close to finishing. So my goal is that once I finish something, at the very beginning of the year at least, in the first few months, once I finish one of these projects, I will start another one. The ones that are close to finishes are small ones, so I'll probably restart another small project to place that. So I like to kind of have some small projects in the middle of all of these big projects that I'm working on, because it gives me a bit of more of a sense of accomplishment when I get really close to a finish on one of them in a few months' time. If I continue my stitching, I don't know, the way I've been doing, if I continue in this path, then I'm hoping 2021 comes with some great finishes and some great progress on mine and all of your stitching. So I'm going to continue with London. I'm going to continue with World Travel Bookshelf, Shelf 1. I'm going to continue with Peridot. So I already showed you London and World Travel, so I'll show you Peridot. I'm going to continue with this one. This is one of the ones that is close to finishing. So I just have the bottom part left to finish on her there. So that's that one. And I think when this one is done, I will go on to another birthstone. Then I have Ganesha is going to still stay in my work in progress. So I've got this much done on him. So looking forward to getting a little bit more done there next year. Then another work in progress I will continue is the Christmas one, the Santa one, Christmas present. So that is another one that is close to completion. So once that's done, I can pick up another small. Now, because I finished Winter Wings, the next one that I'm going to do is called Enchanted Garden. Let's see if I was smart enough to get a picture of that chart ready for you to see. Maybe I didn't. So while I'm talking to you, I'm going to try and quickly gather that picture and see if I can do it very quickly. So those are the work in progresses that I'm going to continue next year. Enchanted. Once I get that done, sorry, this is probably not the best way to do this. And you know what makes me sad? I have a picture here of the piece actually finished. Remember I told you the whole story about how I actually did this project and then I lost it and I have no idea where it is. It may have gotten lost in a couple of moves that we made from province to province, but I said I'm not going to be disappointed about it. If it somehow miraculously shows up, then great. I'll have two pieces. Maybe I'll give one away after it's stitched. But here is the picture of when I finished it the first time. Okay, so that's Enchanted Garden. So pretty, so adorable. So I'm going to stitch that one again in place of Winter Wings, which I just finished. New starts for the year. So if I finish the birthstone Peridot, I'm going to pick up another birthstone. I haven't decided which one yet. There are quite a few birthstones to choose from because I only have 3 of 12 done. So I have 8 or so to choose. Yes, 12 minus 3 is 8. 9, sorry, my math is wrong. 9 more to choose from. Then I'm going to start Enchanted Garden. Really looking forward to that one. The next new start that I have in mind, I'm actually just going to pull up the Heaven Earth Designs webpage because that's much easier. Wow, I thought I was prepared for today. Clearly, I am not. Let's do this. It's called Little Dreamer's Tree. It's just a cute little project that I've been kind of wanting to do for a while now. I think I'm going to do it on 18 count, so it'll be skinny but long. And let's see, here we go. Okay, so that's what it is. It's just like a little enchanted tree. It's got fairies in it, and I think there might be some sparkly bits. I haven't looked at the color key yet, but so many people I've noticed on social media have stitched it, and it just looks so adorable. It's just so much, it's gonna look like so much fun to work on. So that's one project that I'm going to start next year. I don't know when. I'll go over the schedule of my new starts in a little bit, but the next one that I want to start is, I've always wanted to do a seasonal chart where it has all 4 seasons in it. So this one is very aptly called 4 Seasons. And here she is. Again, of course, Heaven and Earth Designs. This one is very unique because it depicts all 4 seasons: summer, spring, winter, fall. Not in the right order, I didn't say it in the right order, but you get what I mean. But the unique thing about it is that, as you can see, they're all sideways. So right now I'm showing you winter right side up. So when it's completely stitched, you have to frame it in a way, or I want to frame it in a way that each season you just flip the frame over, turn it around to the next season, and then so on and so forth. So when this is finished, it is going to be fabulous, and I have just the place to hang it in. I already have the wall space reserved for this project. It is right as soon as you enter the house, past the foyer, there is a wall there. It's kind of like an angled wall before you go into the rest of the house, and I think it would be perfect there. So you just kind of turn the picture whenever each season starts. So that is a very exciting stitch that I have planned. Then the next one, it's for me. And really, why shouldn't we stitch for ourselves? I say, I used to think, oh, maybe I should stitch things that will look good around the house, that everyone will like to look at. But you know what? I'm spending the time stitching it. I'm spending all this energy and time and love stitching this piece. I'm going to stitch whatever I want. This one has always caught my eye. It's called Early Visit, and it's just so pretty. I mean, here she is. So this one, like the Little Dreamer's tree, is long and narrow, but the other way. So I think this will be a fun one to do as well. Those are the ones that I have a few others on my list that I want to start, but I don't want to show you those until I actually put it together. These are the ones that I have started to source my fabric for, and the stitching community is great. I just posted on a couple of Canadian stitching Facebook pages to see who everybody in Canada kind of gets their fabric from, and I mean, within a few hours, I had so many options and suggestions from a few shops in the States who ship to Canada, a few shops in Canada, some Etsy shops, and I even have a local stitching friend, who says she has some and that she's willing to cut some up and sell it to me. So couldn't be happier. Love the stitching community. It's the best thing ever. So those are the new starts from Heaven and Earth Designs. The other new start is I found a full coverage mystery style, and I couldn't be happier because I don't know if you noticed, but I like full coverage. And after Heaven and Earth stopped having theirs, I kept looking, could not find another one, and then all of a sudden this popped up on my feed and in social media. I was like, oh my god, this is exactly what I want to do. So the piece is a big piece. I decided to do it on 18 count, and I needed quite a bit of fabric to do that, so I actually was able to finally source that in my own stash, so that's great. The theme, they said, is wildlife. That's all they've told us. They gave us a stitch count, which off the top of my head, I think is 261 by 350 50 something, so it's like a portrait size picture. So I'm gonna do it on 18 count. And I'm so excited, I can't wait. Yeah, that's gonna be so much fun. So the other new start that I have for the new year is a different one. It's a special one. So I made a new stitching friend on social media. Her name is Anita, and she is also a Canadian stitcher. She lives in the mainland, and she saw my Flosstube video and realized how much I like full coverage cross stitch. Her son is an artist, and she had always wanted to, whenever she saw any of his artwork, she always would think in her head, as normal stitchers do, I wonder how that would look stitched up. So she asked him if he would be willing to allow her to convert them into cross stitch pieces. And of course, you know, he said, yeah, that would be great. So she has started an Etsy shop where she sells her patterns. It's called One Stipple, Two Stitch. Everything that I've talked about, I will add in the description so that you know. But her Etsy shop is there for you to browse and look at. But she contacted me because she knows of my love of full coverage cross stitch, and she knows I work on all different kinds, big, small, all different themes. So she asked me if I would help her out, and she needed someone to do a sample stitch. And I said, of course, I would totally love to help you out. So I was able to actually source some fabric in my own stash, so she didn't have to think about having to get me some material. At first, the project is called Siamese Fighting Fish. So I don't have a picture of it because it is on my phone, but when I started in the new year, I will make sure I have all the proper pictures for it. Now, so it is a large piece, and Anita, I hope you realize how long it's going to take me, but she was totally fine with how long it was going to take me. Let's see, just trying to find if I have it actually here in my, if I have the PDFs here. No, maybe not. Okay, so yeah, so I have, I'm going to start that one. I'm going to do it on 28 count because the stitch count is 708 by 999. So we're talking about 700 stitches across, 999 stitches down. So you can just imagine how large this piece is. Now, I shouldn't be shocked because you've seen the big pieces that I work on. I'm not a stranger to large pieces, but they do take time because I do take my own sweet time and I switch projects, but Anita has been lovely. She said, do it at your own pace. I just want to see the work in progress and see how her conversion of her son's artwork comes out onto textile, into cross stitching. And she just, wants some feedback on her conversion and the actual stitch itself. It is a colorful piece, but there is a lot of, the background is very dark, so she gave options. You can check out her Etsy shop. On it, you can see that she gave options. If you wanted to stitch it on black fabric, then you don't have to do the 310 and the 939, which is the black and the navy blue. I, however, have decided to do it on, I think I found some antique white in my stash. So it's 28 count, so I'm going to be doing completely full coverage, all of it. She's also started it. I think she's doing 25 count. I could be wrong, but I think she's doing 25 count. And she's doing it on black, so she's not doing the darker color. So it'll be two different kind of stitches done simultaneously to see how they all turn out. As well as she has charted it and designed it so that there are some specialty threads that you can use for it. Of course, some sparkly threads. I think there was a couple that were also possibly glow in the dark. So I have said that I will do all the DMC colors with the suggested conversions. So that is the plan for that one. So yay, Anita. Again, that's One Stipple, Two Stitch on Etsy. She's on Instagram as well. And we're looking forward to our style of stitching that piece together and seeing how it works out. So I hope you enjoy the progress that I will make on that and all my projects to come. The final plan I have for the pieces that I'm going to work on next year, not another new one, it's just I've always done a lot of the challenges on the Facebook pages, and when COVID happened and we were all, stuck at home a lot, I found that I didn't like being kind of held down with particular challenges that I had to get this much done at this time, or I had to work on a certain theme. I didn't really, so I kind of stopped doing all those challenges, and I haven't picked up any more. So all those challenges are starting up again for the new year, and the only one that I'm kind of in the mood to do is with, which group is that? I think it's Full Coverage Fanatics, and they did one for this year for 2020. I think it was 20,000 in 2020. This time, of course, because it's 2021, they're doing 21 in 21. So that means you have to stitch 21,000 stitches on any one given project for the 12 months of 2021. I haven't decided which project I want that to be. I've narrowed it down to 2. Obviously 2 of my big ones. Pretty sure I have enough left on this. Let's check while let's pull up my trusty pattern keeper to see how much I have left. So the first project that I have an option of choosing is the Ganesha. So that's this one. And I think I have enough if I wanted to choose that one. Oh, good Lord, yes, I have enough stitches left to choose that one. That's a joke. That's not even a problem there. And the other option is the World Travel Bookshelf. So if you would like to comment and help me decide which one I should make my focus piece for the 21 and 21, please feel free to leave me a comment down below to see which one I should choose for my 21,000 stitches in 2021. Here are my 2 options. Oops, backwards. Ganesha or World Travel Bookshelf. So that means that in the 12 months, I have to finish 21,000 stitches on either one of these. So let me know what you think I should do. Okay, so that was the last of my plans for 2021. I'm going to continue. I like the way that I'm doing it now, where I switch it up every 3 days, and it gives me sometimes that even if I have a busy day and I don't get any stitching done, I still have a couple of days to get at least a few stitches put in on any given project. I'm still going to use my random project picking wheel because it's just so fun because you never know what it's going to land on. Yeah, so I'm going to, but I am debating, do I want to have a project just for the weekends? So on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then that leaves not very many days, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, to switch up projects, because we're going to be going back and forth to the cabin on the weekends, even in the winter, maybe more so in the spring and the summer. So I'm wondering if I should pick a project to do work on every weekend, maybe the 21 and 21, so that I make sure I get the stitching done on that. I need to calculate it out for the 12 months, how many stitches I need to do each month in order to actually reach the goal of 21,000 stitches. That number just sounds so huge and daunting, but I will persevere and we'll try to get it done. And the big thing, of course, for my stitching method next year is I want to count the stitches as well as the time it takes me to stitch on any given project. So I've got some lofty goals for next year. We'll see how it goes. Very exciting. It's almost the new year now. Today is the 29th, and only a couple more days for the new year. I think my first thing I'll pick up on the 1st will be the Mystery Cell. I'll do a few days on that, and then maybe I will start the Siamese Fighting Fish, do a few days on that, and then I'll do some work in progresses, and then they will become part of my wheel again. my work in progress wheel after I've started them. So I think the next couple of days I will prep my projects. So I will, for the new projects actually, I will prep the fabric. So that means I always grid my fabric with a water-soluble pen. So I will cut the fabric to size. I will seal the edges. I will grid them, and then they'll be ready for stitching. So I have a couple of days, so I might just spend those days doing that, as well as maybe get a little bit of stitching done on one of the smaller projects, so that I can, you know, I don't get too distracted. Because the gridding, I only do page by page because you can go cross-eyed, especially if I'm gonna have to grid the 28 count fabric for the Siamese Fighting Fish project. You have to really look closely and make sure you're counting properly. Maybe for that one I'll do 20 by 20 instead, because usually I grid all my fabric 10 by 10 blocks, but just, I don't know, maybe, we'll see. That is my plans for 2021. I think I have shared everything that I wanted to share today. Super exciting when you think about the next year. So I'm not gonna put too much pressure on myself and stress out about, oh, I didn't get enough stitching done, I should have done some more stitching. I'm just going to love the art of cross stitching because it's my zen. It's what I love to do. And isn't that why you're here watching me? Because you love it too. And I just love sharing with you all of this. So please, please, please like and share my channel, Thread the Needle, subscribe, and comment below if there's anything you want to ask me. And don't forget to comment below on whether you think I should use the Ganesha or the World Travel Bookshelf for my 21 and 21, and we'll see who comes out on top. Also, I think that was everything that I wanted to talk about. I'm so happy I was able to make this video before the new year. I'm hoping to keep doing these frequent videos. I'm doing it at a 2-week timeline because I feel that gives me enough time to actually have some work done and have some content to show you, which is important because really, who wants to watch a video when I have nothing to show you? It'll just be me babbling on about, you know, God knows what. But so excited for the new year. Say goodbye to 2020 and don't look back. It's done. And we're going to look forward to the new year, 2021. Here we come. I wish everyone lots of stitching time and I can't wait for it. So happy stitching, everyone. Until next time, bye now.